which is, like it says, great for beginners. What you are seeing right now is the actually whiteboard that is part of Blackboard Ultra, where you can pull up the whiteboard, you can share with students. Students can write on it. It is a really neat engagement tool, but as you dive more into Blackboard Ultra, you will learn more about that. I'm going to begin by showing you how to get to the Ultra Quest, so KCTCS. Well, the whiteboard should be the screen that you're looking at that says the Ultra Quest, great for beginners. But that's okay. I'm going to share my screen here in a minute. So when I share my screen, you're going to see a large number of screens pop up here in just a minute. And this is just letting you know that your screen is being shared. So as I share my screen and go through the tabs, you will actually see what I'm showing you. So I'm going to begin by showing you how to actually get to Ultra Quest. So to get to Ultra Quest, you're going to go to My Path and SharePoint. You can actually just type in KCTCS online, and this is where you will find Ultra Quest. I'll also show you a different way to find it as well, right through Blackboard. This is the KCTCS online site, and through SharePoint, you have a lot of very good information about teaching online, getting support for Blackboard, all kinds of different tools. I do believe that Leah Simpson will be walking through how to get help, and this will be one of the places you can actually go to for help. You have the menu up here that says Blackboard Support, Ultra Support. You also have the tile here. You can click on either one and it will take you to Blackboard Ultra Support. This is kind of your one-stop shop for everything Ultra. This is also where you can find information about Ultra Week and the different sessions. I don't know if you all have looked at the different sessions. We have in the weekly schedule here, or week schedule, you can go to the week schedule and you can see every day what session is going to be coming up. This is where you're going to click to join the session. So for every day, that link is at the top. So Wednesday's link. A couple of the sessions that you will see will be repeated. I do think that the assessments and gradebook will be repeated, and converting to learn will also be repeated. From here in the schedule, you can actually go to the featured sessions. This is a great way to see which ones you want to attend. I know a lot of people have questions and concerns about the gradebook and assessments, so there are 2 different sessions for that. You can roll through and look at what other sessions you will be attending or want to attend. I highly suggest that you attend your publisher content. It does explain how you will be able to integrate your publisher content, the LTIs, your books, anything that your publisher offers, and help to integrate it into Blackboard. And I will tell you, I have attended many of those, the same ones over and over again every year, just because I find it very helpful. There's always a new tip or trick. Sometimes I've had trouble, and in the past, when I've had trouble, I have literally been able to call the publisher or our representative on campus, and they will get with me and screen share and walk me through how to do that. So don't let that be too big of a worry for you. It might seem a little daunting, but it's really not, and there's so much support. I know one of our campus Cengage people is Lindsay Scott, and she is amazing. You'll actually get to see some examples of how Ultra course is being used, and then again the conversion process. So moving from Learn into Ultra will be offered twice. So we can go back to the Ultra week. And as you're scrolling through this, don't you love that little shark? It's like Shark Week. You have different tiles here that give you options for different help for Ultra. but we are going to be going to the Ultra Quest. So the green tile, it says practice with Ultra. You'll see Ultra Quest right here. And this is where you will find Ultra Quest. I will show you in a minute how to get to the sandbox, so I'm not just flying through that, but in case after this session you've forgotten how to get to your sandbox, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a sandbox. It's a place you can play with. It's a course that has been set up in Ultra that'll allow you to walk through the Ultra Quest and do some things in Ultra. Ultra Quest, if you continue scrolling down, is just really a quest to get you through some steps and working on your own through Ultra. There's about 20 different steps in the quest. You can actually come here and you can download the file for Ultra Quest. Now this is from the original Ultra Quest in December, so I'm just going to disregard those dates. There is no prize for this. Your prize will just be learning how to do Ultra, which I know is a little nerve-wracking for some of us who used Learn and those who have not used Ultra at all. But I will tell you, if you've used Learn, you are ahead of the game. You have some knowledge about how Blackboard works, and it's really not that different. It just looks a little different. Some of the processes might be a little different. And if you've had no familiarity, well, you are off to a great start as well, because you'll be learning something new and not holding it in the back of your head, but we used to do it this way and Learn. So either way, I think that you are starting off on the right foot. So you can download this document. You can download it to your desktop. That way you can check it off if you want to print off a hard copy, but the links in the document work, and they'll take you to each one of the steps that we're going to be using for Ultra. So here's actually Ultra Quest. So the first thing that we'll be doing once we get out of here is going to the sandbox. And then we'll go through a few different processes in the sandbox and showing you how to maybe build a module and add a folder. So you can begin with some of these 3 steps. I will tell you right here, registering for the Blackboard Ultra seminar is a great opportunity. You're going to get some fantastic experience this week, but the Ultra seminars are 2 days. I think the next one is in March, the 16th and the 17th, and you have in April. If you're like me, you've signed up for both of them. I am still not 100% with Ultra, so this is something I'm also new as well with, and I feel like attending those seminars twice can only benefit. Someone may present it differently than the other. I may learn something different, so I will be attending both the seminars. But you can actually go here to the pre-recorded sessions, and if you click on that link, pre-recorded sessions, you can actually sign up for the Ultra course seminar here. And again, you can see the dates coming up. So before we roll out in May, you have 2 different opportunities to attend the seminar. These are actually the recorded sessions of the seminar. Each one is about an hour and 15 minutes. So you can watch both of those. You can watch both of those and attend one or both of the seminars as well. It just depends on what kind of time you have. Down here is also a self-paced module. It's module 8 for online faculty orientation. I do think that this is a fantastic module for you to go through. It will help you get through Blackboard Ultra. In this module, it comes with a section on assessment, and then there's a small video, short video that follows it. So a lot of the Blackboard short little videos are only 2 and 3 minutes long. They get you right through one process and one step, so you can have that on your screen as you are actually walking yourself through that process in Ultra. This is actually a fantastic way to learn about LMS along with the Blackboard, along with walking through the Ultra Quest. So we'll go back to the Ultra Quest. So here is the steps. You're going to first, I'll introduce you to the rest of Ultra, then we'll go into the sandbox. Some of your different steps, getting help. You're going to be building an Ultra, so this is where I will show you some of these things about the learning modules and add data documents. And then there's a section on the assessments and activities. grading evaluations, accessibility, which is really important, and then the student experience. So we'll show you, or I'll show you a few of these things as we walk through getting to your sandbox. So I'm going to move this over here just in case. And we will go back to my path, and we are going to go into Blackboard. So from my path, you will be clicking on Blackboard. I do wonder if they'll change that to Learn sometime. So we'll be clicking on Blackboard. And this will take you to your institution page. Right here as well, you have a link to Ultra Week and the Ultra Week homepage, which will also show you the sessions. And here is some good faculty information if you have not been into Blackboard before. I think one thing you should do as you start working in Ultra is to make sure you have browser compatibility. And one thing with the browser compatibility that I would check for, so when you open up this page, it will bring you here and it will let you know that your browser is supported or not supported. The bottom part right here is what you should look for the pop-up blocker. You'll need to save your pop-up blocker. It's different for Firefox or Google Chrome, but if your pop-up blocker is on, if you look up here, you will often see at the top of the screen right here, you'll see what looks like a little page that has a little red X on it. I think Chrome is over here. I think the left side is where Firefox pops up. If you just click on that, you'll get a drop-down box that says always allow pop-ups for Blackboard Collaborate or Blackboard, no, I think it just says Blackboard. But that is one thing you should probably do before you start working in your sandbox or building your courses. It's also something you should also let your students know as well. You can also get to the KCTCS online right here as well. So if you click here, it'll take you directly where we were looking at the Ultra course, and the different things are offered by KCTCS online. You also have a link to Blackboard Instructor webinars, which will be a fantastic way, again, for you to learn more about Ultra as you're moving through this on your own. And then there's other faculty resources on your institution page as well. You can actually do some training here. So to get to your course, you're going to go to the list right here, and you'll see your courses. One thing I do want to point out that I do like about Ultra is that you can look here on the icon, and if you click grades, it will take you to a list of your current courses, and I've got all kinds of different things up here. But I like this because you can see your current courses, and you can actually look at and see what needs to be graded, and then it actually will show you in the, I can't find one that's, no, it might not pop up yet. So this will show me how many assignments I have that need to be graded. And then it shows the class average, which is kind of cool. I can actually go here and click on this. It will take me to that assignment to grade it. So if you were just looking at this list, you can actually get in to grade things here. Kind of makes it easy. So we'll go back to the institution page. We're going to look at your course. Right now I have in my current courses, but we're going to go to Ultra Training. And in Ultra Training, you will see your Ultra Sandbox course. And this will take you into your sandbox where you can play with Ultra and see what it offers, how it's different. You can start playing with it, learning more about it. You can also, and I just learned this last week, that if you, for your classes, I had my IT person, Kevin Dunn at BCTC, set up a course shell for each one of my classes, so Family 252 and 253, and a course shell is really just a sandbox. So I could play with those courses, get them built, and add stuff in there. You can Now you can actually copy, so you can copy all of your course or parts of your course. There is a link somewhere, I'll show you that if I can find it, about the pros and cons of if you copy your entire course or just parts and pieces of your course. But if you do set up your course, have your course shells set up, and you play with those course shells, it won't destroy anything. You're not going to affect your class. Students aren't going to see it. It's just a shell. But if you build your course in that shell and you're done and you're happy with it, you can actually use that course shell and copy it into your next actual class. And that one might be something you might think of. You might feel like working in the sandbox is, maybe a waste of time. I do not think it's a waste of time. I've worked in the sandbox as well. I'm still learning, just as many of you are, and I think it's a great option. But again, having these shells and working on those and being able to add videos and things, I know that when I get that done, students can't see it. I've not messed up anything. It's been a learning process. I can take things out, but then I can actually use it, which while I'm learning and I'm building this, I'm actually building my true course. So this is your sandbox, and this is exactly what any of your Ultra courses is going to look like. You're going to have your menu on the top with your content, and this is where we are on the content page, your calendar. You can go straight to discussions right up here, the grade book, and you can send messages as well. You can see here is my information instructor. And I know there's a lot of questions too about there's a little email icon. That is only what will be seen by students, where students can email you. I don't think you're going to need to email yourself, so there's probably no reason to see that little mail icon. So all of the different actions and details that we can go through are also down here on the left tile menu or course menu. We have the roster. You can create groups. Course groups are fantastic to create if you have a large class and you want to put them in a group for group work. Blackboard will actually set it up for you. You can choose the number of students you want in each group. There's progress tracking. You can actually change your course image. I do believe that someone is going to be there is a presentation on the course banners. Right now, students cannot access this course. It is private. This is where students and you will be joining for Blackboard Collaborate. You can mark attendance, which I really like. That's very, very helpful. You can create an announcement. There's other tools. Other tools would be maybe your LTI, your course, or your publisher information that you can choose from. And then also you can manage your question banks. One thing I do think is important after you set up your class is if you turn on progress tracking allows students to see where they are. So when they sign into Blackboard Ultra, they will have the screen that shows them what they need, what's done, what's past due, what they haven't done. So it allows them to see their progress. I think that's something that is very important. It gives students ownership, and it allows them to easily see what they need to do. So here is the course content already in your sandbox. They have created kind of like a little outline for you to follow. Let's see how long it takes to get here. So the first part, if you look, I've just clicked here. These are all little sections. So if you click on, you can click it here, you can just click inside, and it will bring up what we're looking at. So this is the Blackboard Learn Ultra Guide. You can download it, save it to your desktop. It has different steps and processes to navigate through Ultra and working with the content. Some people like to see it and read it. So along with the webinars, if you have this, it may be very helpful. I know going through the webinars, I was able to pause and watch and go back, but also looking at this, a lot of us need to see and read those as well. So it's very helpful to have this available to you. And then this is about banner images. So the banners are what you will see, let me see if we can't go here. I'm going to open it. I'm just going to show you quickly what they're talking about. Maybe not quickly, but going to show you. This is actually a banner image that have been put into the different sections so they separate the section, they let the student know where they're going, what's happening. I'll get back to that in just a minute. So you have your instructor quick guide. The banners, someone is going to be doing a session on how to change your banners, and important instructor notes. I think this is very important. It kind of explains to you what the page looks like. So we have the placeholder text. It's going to show you what the placeholders in the course are. I'll show you the Start Here module, and it kind of explains to you each different section. So you have the first module, you have the Start Here, which is 00, and the first module right here. So they built in some directions for you to follow that will help as you build your course. Starting here. So this is the Start Here. You can actually go in, and this is, if you look and you can see this entire screen right here, this box. This box would be considered a module. So modules would be how you're going to separate out your course. So if I am teaching a 12-week course, I may have 3 chapters in one module. But right here, you could do the Start Here. This is where students are going to begin. They're going to learn about their course. This is where the syllabus is going to be. So within this module, you can actually change. If you edit, hit the pencil, you can change this, Start Here. I might actually remove the 00. I don't know if that would confuse students or not, but I would just maybe put Start Here. You put the name of your course, that it's a course overview. And then anywhere you click outside the box, there you have that. So you can actually add items as well, and that's what this is for, but I'll show you that in just a minute. So the course overview, now you can move on down to the, what is here in this. So we have also the course instructor. So this is where you're going to be able to add your information. So just by, I'll go back and show you again, clicking on inside the box, you can actually just click and it will take you, to this. Now this is a banner. They're already put in here again, so it allows students to know where they are, where they're going. This was already put in here for us. So the contact information, I just added my information here. The text box is like you would see on a Word document. You have your font, what type of font you want, the font size, the color, anything that you want to include. You can actually include tables. You can link to an outside source or somewhere in your cloud or another document. You can actually attach. And then right here are different options for adding content as well. You can add math, you can add an image, media, a YouTube video, anything from the cloud, and this is also from your LTI or your course products. So you would just go in and just type away. I've already put my name in there, but if I wanted to go in and change it, contact information, just like you would any kind of document. And then you can save it. And then the next section was Meet Your Instructor. You can go here and edit this. And this is where I went in and I added a picture. So just by adding this, I went in and I went into the cloud storage. And right here, you will have to actually choose where you want this. And it will ask you to authenticate, which means you're going to be connecting to our OneDrive. And right here, so I can see this is my OneDrive, and if I'm wanting to choose what to import, I'm going to see if I saved a picture in here. So I have a list of items that I can choose from, and this is my picture, so I'm going to just choose. I selected that one. It says select one. You do have to select that item. So I'll do that again. You're going to pick this, and where it says in this box right here, you can select one. You can select more than one. It'll have your options, but you hit this, click that, and then you want to import this. Now I'm going to have two pictures, but that's okay. You can actually change the display name if you wanted to. You got just type it here. I could just put me, and it's going to change. Now, if it's just a decorative image, you can mark that as well. And then it will actually just post it right there in line. It will tell you when you're choosing an outside source to include, whether it's going to post it in line like this, or if it's going to be an attachment. So I have that, and I can save this and move on down to the office hours. Again, these were already created for you. This just kind of gives you a good base to add to take away from. But you can actually add your office hours. I already put mine. Again, you go to the three dots here, you edit this, and mine's by appointment. You can put Mondays and Fridays. Can't type because you all are watching me. Don't you all have that feeling too? So also when you see these tiles here, these are kind of shadowed out, but if I click on this, just so I can remember where I was, I can see where I was previously. So I was on the main course page. I'm going to get out of this by going up here. Actually, you could click on that as well, just the tile. So here, pretty much this whole module right here, again, this is a module you can see, everything is in it, is pretty much your course introduction where you have your syllabus, your course description. So all of those things are found here. Here's where you can add your syllabus. So you'll be adding a document. I have already added mine. So if I wanted to, I can download this so you can add it and as a Word document. So if students want to download it, excuse me for a minute, they can download that file for themselves. I know a lot of students want to have a hard copy. You can download it or you can add it as a Word document. You can add it as a PDF file, but you can edit this. And this is where I went, and I went to the little add icon, and I went to my cloud storage. Again, you're going to hit your OneDrive, and you can see it's kind of taking me to where I have already been most recently, which is quite helpful. So here is my syllabus. I have a Word document and a PDF. If I wanted to add both, you can see it would say select two. And then I have those two documents up there. Right down here, this is it shows you the last where the module page ends. Now, students will have, in student preview, we'll look at that. They'll have a little arrow that allows them to go over to the next section. So again, this has the syllabus on it. You just add. If you wanted to add something else yourself, if you had, I have a kind of a class behavior, civility kind of, well, it's a DEI statement. If I wanted to include my DEI, my diversity, equity, inclusion statement, I can actually click on this. Any one of these lines with the add button is where you can add something. So I could add content. If I wanted to add the content, you can, again, type it in. Maybe do my DEI statement. You can go back. You could cut and paste it in here as well. And right here, you will insert it through other means. If you have it saved, you can attach it. But I could put my DEI statement in here, and I can continue adding really as I go. You have the ability, and then if you want to actually decide I don't want that, you just go over here and you delete it, and it's gone. So I want to go back over here. And a lot of these things are actually what are already included in Blackboard when you have college resources. So these are things that are already built in here. The Blackboard help guides, which is really important. I mean, you can keep them or delete them. I would highly suggest keeping them because they are very, very helpful. So all of these things, again, are already in there. Most of them are actually also parts of your syllabus, but it will be very helpful to you and the students both for their ability to find things on their own. So right here, again, here's a whole module. If I actually wanted to, I could create a module. You can't create a module inside a module. If I wanted to create my own module, I would go up here to create a module. And you can see if you're going to create your own item outside of a module, and here is a learning module, a folder, a document. You can have links to outside sources. These are links to your publisher, book content, your assessments, your tests, your discussions, and a journal. So you can actually create your own module. You just put learning module here, and you have, well, actually, I'm going to minimize this one. So I have already created this module. I can go back in. You can add a description of it. It could be week 1. It could be, if you wanted to, excuse me, depending on how you want to separate out your course. You know, again, it could be something that you have as, you know, week 1 or module 1, weeks 1, 2, and 3. So if you have module 1, you want to put the description, you can add the description and say this is, you know, module 1 is considered to be what weeks 1, 2, and 3, or chapters 1, 2, and 3, however you want that, you can put that in there. But it does offer a description, which is very helpful for students. So you can create that module. There's already modules created in the Sandbox for you. There's 6. If you don't need 6 modules, you could delete it. You can add to them. But again, here is a module. You can see everything in this one space. This one box is the module. So I have a module overview. And if you click on that, this is just what's going to take you to what this module is. I added a picture. You can see that I might need to check for my accessibility score, but you can add your own picture. Your pictures are different from the banner. This is a banner. But in this module, I have, well, this has already been included. It's going to give you this module. You add a short, headline about the module and why it matters. So if you want to include with your students, why it matters, that gives them an explanation of why this is important. I put that in there as my explanation. If you want to have your competencies, if they align with courses, I know probably nursing, that would be a good one to have. You may not want the competency in there. You can choose to delete the competency as well as the banner. So this can be deleted. And then down here, the module activities. I think this is a fantastic addition to each module, letting the students know what is due, the due dates, giving them estimated time for each one of the items. Even if it's reading a chapter or you have to watch a video that's 20 minutes, they get an idea of what it expects them of that module, and it allows them to plan for their time. Now, again, these are things that you can go in and add to. It's just like a text box in a Word document, nothing different. So you can add your items here. You can change whatever you want. And then we'll go back out. I have chapter 1. So this is actually a folder. So in this module, if I wanted to, I can go in and I can add and create. We've already created a module. So within my module, I can add a folder and a document. I have links to other sources and actually links to your teaching tools. So depending on who your publisher is, you may be able to link to specific chapters. So in this module, if you have chapters 1, 2, and you can link to those chapters in the book. If it's an e-text, so they have easy access to the text as well. So I can choose to add a folder. And if I'm adding a folder, it may be, I've already have a chapter 1. I've already created some stuff in here, but I'm just going to go ahead and recreate that for you. So now I have added a chapter. It is hidden from the students, but inside this chapter, you can actually add, the folder, sorry. You can add your PowerPoint. So in the folder, I have my PowerPoint. Again, that is just adding the content, going to your, wherever you have it saved. I have everything saved in the cloud storage. You can add that. And this is a document. So a document is, we usually think of a document as, like a Word document, a single document. But this document within a module, you can include the document as part of a folder. It can be an independent document within the module. It can just be an independent document. It doesn't have to be in a module. You could add it, anywhere you see this plus sign, you could go and you could add what you would like there. But I do like a document because if you click on this document, it pulls this up and you can add anything you want the students to do. So I've included some facts. There is an outside link. I have videos added to the document, and I even have a graph. It looks small, but if you actually click on the graph, it will enlarge it so students can actually see it better. If I wanted to go in and edit, this is how I edit. I literally just cut and pasted these things in here. I went here and I added my attachments. I added a link, so I went and you can enter your URL for your link and add whatever you want here. You can give it the text that you want it to be shown under. Oops, I'm going to cancel that. I also did the videos. So right here, I went into the YouTube content, chose a video. I did find it kind of funny that I tried to add one of my, is it the Vimeo video? And because I do teach human sexuality, it was kind of funny. It popped up and said, this video is forbidden. And it was really about just research. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But this is how you add it. So I just added an image. Actually, this came from an outside source. So the image as well. And I had the image picked and clicked on the image URL and just put it here and it inserted it. Now, if you are inserting an image, it will tell you that it can be inserted in line just like this to follow, or it may be an attachment. But the document actually allows you to add a whole lot of different information. So maybe you have 2 different sections in a chapter, and this is how you could divide those sections by putting them in a document. So you could have, chapter 2, section 1, chapter 2, section 2, and put everything you want to in the document. And the reason why they're trying to, or Ultra is doing this, is because they're trying to lessen the amount of clicks. And now that I have compared original Learn to Ultra, I can definitely see the amount of clicks to get somewhere is quite a lot, and this does make it a lot easier. I've linked videos in here as well, so the videos will take you to a link because I could not get them to line in the course. So that was something that was easily done. If I want to remove it or edit it, I will just delete it. And I can delete if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. And also with, sorry, with the assignment. So if you want to add an assignment, you can actually add an assessment. I have an assignment here. So I may want to go over here. I'm afraid we're going to be getting to some questions here in a minute. And I can go down here and add a test or an assignment. I'll add the discussion. So here is the new assignment. You can come up and name your assignment. So it would maybe say chapter 2. And then I can set the due date, just like you would in original. And if I want it due, let's see, I want it due tomorrow, I can just pick tomorrow and the time. What's really cool about this is you can actually prohibit late submissions. And you can prohibit new attempts after the due date. This allows them to, if they have a late submission, they've started it, they can still do that, but this prohibiting late submissions only, that does prevent them from doing that, which is quite helpful when they're waiting at the last minute to do something. You can actually allow for class conversations, which I really like, especially with what I'm teaching. The students can actually go into the assignment, and there's a little area I can show you where they can go have discussions. So this is a graded assignment. It could be a quiz, any one of these you can choose. I can give it my points. So if I want it to be 20 points, I'm not going to have any other graders. If you're using any respondents, if you're using a test or an exam, and then I can save it. And I have my assignment. So it's just like setting up an assignment as you would in Learn. I'm going to have trouble saying Learn in Ultra. Also, the discussions can be done the same way. You can set up a discussion and then a test. You can have a test in here. I know there's a whole session on adding tests, and people were concerned about how to import tests, but you can actually go in, you can choose what kind of question that you want. If you have a pool of questions, you can pull from ones you already have. You can make up your own questions. You can actually add and write a whole new question, and that's fine. Text, adding the text can maybe help you give you a description of what the test is, what's expected of them, how long it's going to take. But you can set this all up. I have created a question of a short answer question and then a multiple choice question. And this, again, this is where you're going to be going and adding some of your own things through the Ultra Quest. You already have, again, the modules that are built in here for you. So you have your module. You can add, you can change your topic. You can add what you want into your module. The Ultra Quest will take you step by step on what is expected. So you can start playing around and building all this on your own. I did leave a few things in here to show you that it will show you the accessibility score, so you may have to change that, but I knew they were going to pop up that way. I did that on purpose. You can actually enter into, well, one thing I want to show you as well is the batch edit. So on the top of the course content, if you see all these items are hidden from students, I don't want to have to go in and open them individually. If you go up here and hit the 3 little dots, you can go to batch edit, and here is where you can actually open up all of your content for the students. If you wanted to open all items, I have selected all 12 items. You go down here to the bottom pane, it says edit selection. If I want to make them visible, I can make them visible to all students so they can be visible. I can also change that to specific dates. If you want things to open on specific dates, you can change that as well. And then if you want to enter into student preview, that is a fantastic way to see what your course looks like to students, and one way for you to make sure that when you have set up your assessment, your test, your quiz, whatever you have done, is showing. So you can see right down here all of the different sections. And so I have my Alexa talking to me. So always enter student preview. It does give you the access to look at, see what's working and what's going on in your class. If you wanted to look at an assignment, you can click on the assignment, and it shows you how students will enter the assignment. It gives them the information, the time, the date, and then they have to hit view assessment in order to actually start submitting the assignment. So this is everything I have for you. I hope that it was helpful. If there are any questions, let me see,
Kimberly, so far I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, but if anyone wants to come off mute to ask a question, just raise your hand and I will give you presenter access. Kimberly, Sherry Wand is asking a question. Are you able to see that in the chat?
If I put my glasses on, I might.
Okay, that sounds good.
If all my questions and answers are in Word document, so they have not been put in question pool. You know, Sherry, I would have to get back with you on that one. I am not sure. There is a session coming up on assessments. I would think that you can maybe upload the document itself, but you can actually, if you have that, cutting and pasting is also an option in there, but I don't know. I will find the answer to that. I will actually get back with you because I know who you are, Sherry. Changes, accessibility changes, you know, there's a few things that I've had to go back and find a different format for. So I know one of the formats I had was in Word, but if I saved it as a PDF file, that did fix some of the accessibility issues. There's a couple pictures I had to take out, a couple of graphs I had to change, but it's really, there's nothing very specific. You'll just have to do it for each item that has the accessibility issue. When you have that accessibility issue, if you hit the little accessibility scale, click on that, it'll tell you what the issue could be. I added tagging to icons. What percentage do we have to have? I do not understand. Does someone understand the question that April is asking? I think that you can actually post documents in either Word or PDF. I don't know that one is better than the other, but I do find sometimes that a PDF document does have less accessibility issues. Yes. Somebody else up here. Did I miss another question?
Kim, number 4. I think you have presenter access now. You should be able to come off mute.
Great, thank you. I just had an answer for April about the accessibility score. So it is really hard because technology is always evolving to get 100% on your accessibility score and keep it, but you really should shoot for as high as you can. The sort of general thinking is progress, not perfection. I agree that I think 70% would be too low. That would probably be in the orange range, and you do want your materials to be in the green range. So I just want to jump in and share that little bit with you. Because I know people really get hung up sometimes on this has to be perfect, perfect, perfect. And there are some things where they're not going to be perfect, but you still need them to be green on that little color gauge that goes from red to yellow to orange to green.
Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. Now I understand what that percentage meant.
We are
Any other
almost
questions?
at time, but if there's any other questions before we end?
Hey, Melissa, this is Leah. I just wanted to add one little thing about PDFs. I know that faculty like them because they think that they're kind of a locked down document that students can't muck around with or change, but they are consistently despised by students who have visual impairments. Even when they come back as being accessible, and I put that word in quotation marks, the students who have visual impairments, the studies continue to show that they pretty much find that there's always a problem with a PDF. So we advise folks, if possible, to avoid PDFs. I know sometimes it's not possible to avoid PDFs, but if you can leave it in a Word document, leave it in a Word document, because that does tend to be a better option for students who have trouble seeing and need
That is really good to
readers.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll come back even with like really good score and show you that it is accessible, and students, you know, in the research that I've read, continue to say there's still problems. It's really hard to get our screen readers to tell us this information. So Word documents are preferred. If you can have a Word document, that's always going to be preferred.
Mm-hmm. Good to know. PDFs tend to have that accessibility score that's higher, so I'm glad to know that. I would rather actually have Word documents in my courses than a PDF file. So I understand that. Guys, I appreciate you attending this. I don't want you to be afraid of using Ultra. I was kind of adverse to it when I first heard about it, but now that I've been in it, I do see there's so many benefits to making it easier for students. The less clicks, the better. I really like the way some of the assessments are set up and how the gradebook is done. It's actually very workable and likable, and I hope that you all work with it and learn how to use it. Don't be afraid. That's what the Sandbox is for. And again, you can get a course shell set up so you can actually work with your own course material and start building your course. And feel like you're maybe not wasting some time just playing around. So you can play around and it won't damage anything that you are doing. Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, Kimmy, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. I definitely want to thank you for leading this session. It was excellent. And again, we will have all these recordings set up for you all in about a week, we hope, to have them all recorded and transcribed, and we will let you know where that is. It will be on our info center, but we'll definitely get that information out in a couple of different ways. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. It was a great session.